Moments for us.
Thank you, Tom. Arthur, has there been any special preparation for this fight?
Well, certainly I prepare myself for each and every opponent differently, and certainly this is a different task for me. I understand that he likes to go either way, southpaw or the right hand. So I've worked with definitely the southpaw and also the right hand. So I have prepared myself, I believe, very well for this fight.
Jemenez claims that you are the key for a championship fight. What do you think about this fight for yourself?
Well, I think this is a very important fight. Jemenez, he feels that I'm the man to beat. I certainly feel that this is a very important fight for me as well. So, you know, a lot of times guys will look at tapes, and perhaps they've looked at tapes of me, the guy, I'm a boxer, they feel. But I'm going to do what I have to do to win. But I do not plan to be running for 10 rounds.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Back to you, Tom.
Thank you, Fernando. Well, Flash Johnson seems to be a very serious-minded young man. Says he's prepared no matter which way Jemenez wants to fight, left or right-handed.
Well, Tom, he'd better be, because Jemenez is a quality opponent. He's ranked second in the world by the WBC. This is going to be a very difficult test for Johnson tonight.
All right, let's check the rules that govern boxing here in the state of California. 10-point must system. Winner of the round gets 10. The loser a lesser number. 3 knockdown rule is not in effect. There's no standing 8 count. You can be saved by the bell only in the last round, and the referee or doctor can stop the fight. Well, as Rich said, an interesting card. We think we've got a great show for you tonight. Stay tuned, because light heavyweights open it up. Montel Griffin against David Vetter.
Look at him, he's a little buzzsaw, Tom.
Boy, this guy can not only fight, he can knock you sideways. Flyweights, they'll put on some action for you, and they're coming up. It's a chance to visit with the former heavyweight champion of the world, a man bent on regaining his title, Riddick. Championship boxing your way. Speaking of champions, of course, the gentleman sitting here between Rich Morata and yours truly is the former heavyweight champion, Riddick Bowe. Riddick, what do you weigh?
Enough.
No, I almost threw you a curve there, champ. I didn't mean to, but I just thought I'd find out.
No, but I'm winning about 245. I hope to come in about 245.
245 for the fight. The only thing about Buster Mathis Jr.?
No, not much. I know that he's a very busy and active fighter, but I got a jab that's going to keep him honest.
And as you told Rich a bit earlier, he's undefeated now, but that's only going to be till the 11th of June, huh?
That's right. That'll last for about 3 weeks.
I want to know if Riddick's going to be drinking that maggot juice that Dick Gregory made for you before your first fight with Holyfield.
No, it won't have no more of that. But, you know, I've learned to keep my weight down, and I'm in pretty good shape.
No more maggot juice, though.
Well, we'll look with interest for that fight on the 11th of June. And, of course, Maramero Paez is one of those on the undercard. And, of course, Mark Too Sharp Johnson, great flyweight, will be on the card as well. All right, the main event tonight is going to send Raton Jemenez. He's ranked number 2 by the WBC against Arthur Flash Johnson, who is 8-1, a tough guy out of St. Louis. This ought to be a dandy. Jimmy Lennon Jr.'s got a ring full of people to introduce. All kinds of things going on. Let's go to Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, before our featured bout of the evening, at this time, we'd like to ask you to rise for the singing of our national anthem. In the ring, presenting the colors, we're proud to have with us tonight the U.S. Vietnam veterans of Southern California. And to lead us, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the microphone the international recording artists, Perry.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red there, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
thanks to the U.S. Vietnam veterans of Southern California. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and sports fans joining us around the world on Prime and La Cadena Deportiva, we welcome you as we present the main event of the evening, a flyweight special attraction brought to you by Forum Boxing Incorporated, along with Budweiser, the undisputed king of beers. This bout is sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission. The chairman is William Eastman. Introducing to you at this time the referee, the third man in charge of this featured bout, introducing Lou Moretz. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, a flyweight special attraction scheduled for 10 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, entering the ring, wearing black trunks with white trim, he is fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri. He weighed in at 112 pounds, and his record includes 8 wins, only 1 loss, with 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the 1988 U.S. Olympian known as Arthur Flash Johnson. His opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner in this 10-round featured main event. He is wearing blue trunks with silver trim, hailing from Mexico City, Distrito Federal, Mexico. He weighed in the same weight of 112 pounds. His record includes 26 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, and he has 23 wins coming by way of knockout. Introducing the WBC #2 ranked flyweight contender. How about a hand for Alberto Raton Jemenez? Once again, here's the referee in charge. Now to give instructions, Lou Moretz.
Any questions? Any preguntas? Buena suerte. Good luck.
The tail of the tape, Arthur Johnson at 5'7". He's the same size as Montel Griffin. Jemenez at 5'2". They each came in at 112. 28 years of age for Johnson, 25 for Jemenez. 70-inch reach for Johnson, 4 inches more than for the shorter #2 ranked WBC contender, Raton Jemenez. And Flash Johnson is a close buddy of the man sitting here next to us, Riddick Bowe. You've known him a long time, Riddick?
Oh, yeah. Oscar was a teammate of mine during the 88 Olympics. I would like to see him do good.
Flash Johnson has lost but once, as John Beirute put it, to that household name, Pitch It, Sith Bang Pratchett. Or Pratchett.
You were close.
IBF champ.
You were this close.
That's right. Pitch It, Sith Bang Pratchett, the IBF champion. We sit around nights a lot talking about Pitch It, Sith Bang Pratchett, don't we? And how about this one? One of the losses that Raton Jemenez had was to Moang Chai Kitakaisam.
That's right. That was also a title fight.
WBC champion. So you can see these two guys, aside from being top flyweights, have a lot in common. They sit around and exchange alphabet soup with each other.
Riddick, let me ask you, in a situation now like Arthur Johnson here, he's only had 9 professional fights. He laid off for 3 years after the Olympic Games, but now he's starting his pro career and getting it off to a big start. But he fights a guy here who's 2nd ranked in the world, been around a lot longer than him, has 30 professional fights to his credit. How much of what Arthur Johnson has to do in there tonight is mental and good mental preparation and being able to get through this fight that way?
Well, I think, 45% of the fight is perhaps, mental. And, look at Arthur as being a strong guy. So I think if he uses his jab, even though this guy has 30 fights, I think he can nullify his experience. He's taller, and he has a pretty decent right hand. So if he uses his jab, I think he can do pretty good.
Well, you as much as anybody know what it means to have a height advantage and to reach advantage and to take advantage of that, though, and fight tall.
That is true. Now, it's up to, Johnson to prove that he knows how to utilize his height.
But it's quite obvious both these guys can put you away. Only 9 fights, and Johnson's got 5 knockouts. And And the other fellow, Raton Jimenez, really puts people out. He has knocked out 20 of 22, 8 of his last 9. This little guy in the blue trunks can really hurt you. And Johnson comes back with a nice combination. Jemenez is 5'2", and Johnson 5'7", at 112 pounds. Been a pretty good opening round between these two world-class fighters. We'll be back with round 2 right after this. Answering the bell, it's scheduled for 10, flyweight division. Flash Johnson, taller of the two men, wearing the black trunks trimmed in white. Number 2 ranked WBC contender in the flyweight division is Raton Jimenez. The mouse, Alberto, he is in the solid blue, trimmed in gold and silver. I'm Tom Kelly, along with Rich Verrata, and between us here at ringside, looking on with more than just casual interest, is Riddick Bowe, former heavyweight champion of the world. He and Johnson were Olympic teammates together.
One thing that differed between Riddick and Arthur is the fact that once the Olympics were over, Arthur did not turn professional immediately, went into the ministry and missionary work, and he did not fight for more than 3 years before turning pro.
Well, he may have his best days ahead of him, Rich. There was a guy down in Texas who turned to the ministry. The last time I heard, somebody was offering him about $8 million to climb back into the ring.
I wish he climbs back in there with me.
You know, Big Daddy Bowe, I tell you, it doesn't seem like any of the champions seem to have you in their sights. They're talking about fighting a lot of other guys except for Riddick Bowe.
Well, because they know that, I'm the best heavyweight out there, and if they fight me, then they'll be taking up ministry.
Good left hand countering move there by Johnson. Straight up and down, Johnson. He's looking Jimenez right in the eye. He's taller at 5'7" than 5'2", and his punches are sharp and to the point. And Jimenez, the number 2 ranked, good right hand by Johnson. Number 2 ranked contender by the WBC, is a very, very capable fighter. He's won 23, lost 26, lost only 3, and has scored 23 knockouts.
He's very busy, Tom, very aggressive. He's not easily discouraged. Riddick, do you feel that Arthur's fighting the proper way against a buzzsaw like this Jimenez?
Oh, very much so. He's doing a good thing. He's keeping his hands up high because Jemenez is trying to hit him high, but if Arthur gets out there and uses his jab and give him a little more upper body movement, I think he'll do okay.
Has he got a good chin, Riddick?
Well, I don't know. This is the first time I've seen Arthur since the Olympics. But I think he takes a pretty decent punch.
But he's in with a guy who can. He's either ranked number 2 or number 3, but regardless of where the WBC or the ranking system has him, Jimenez is a very, very clever, tough fighter.
His one loss in his last 9 fights, Tom, has been to Mark Johnson, who will also be fighting on the June 11th card with Riddick up at Caesars Palace, which may indicate that Jimenez does have some trouble with guys who can move and box, because certainly Mark Johnson does just that.
Yeah, he has tremendous hand speed.
Yes, he does have, and he's awfully quick with his feet as well. He's a tough contender. Looks to me like Jimenez is walking a little slowly back to his corner. Let's stay in the corner with him. This is scheduled for 10.
Keep standing firm. Okay. It's 1, 2, 3, turn him. 1, 2, 3, turn him, okay?
Ramon, straight over here.
Come on, what? Now look at when you turn him, I want you to bend your knees and look for that counter, okay? But I want you to start getting off, okay? I want him on the end of the left jab, right hand, left hook, turn him. I don't want him inside. Is understood?
Now, while you're looking at Jimenez, those comments were coming from Johnson's corner.
This guy, just keep that stick right in his face. He can't do a thing about it.
And everything that the man in the corner said, Riddick Bowe agreed with, champ.
Yeah, I think that's the best advice you can give him. Use the jab and pretty much try to stay away from his power.
And move him around, huh?
Certainly.
All right, here they go with round number 3, scheduled for 10. Flash Johnson in the black, trimmed in white. And And the shorter of the two in there is Raton Jimenez, blue, trimmed in silver.
Riddick, what's the proper technique for a fighter like Arthur or yourself or anyone to be able to turn a guy like that? They're saying turn him. What exactly do they mean? What do they want to do?
When he's turning him, he's getting him off mark. He's not standing right in front of this guy where he can load up him with big shots. And so once he turns him, he has to, stop and reload again.
Jimenez takes a moment of quiet by Johnson to pump 2 or 3 shots to the midsection.
Gives Jemenez a chance when he fights him close, but if he stays out and uses his jab, it makes it hard for him, just like that.
Nice left jab and a nice right hand to follow thrown by Johnson. Did you watch the light heavyweights where you're not surprised that Vedder didn't use his jab more and keep Griffin away from him, champ?
Well, I think Griffin is learning a lot, and his youth, I think, played a big part in that fight.
He was very frank to admit that he didn't much care for his performance and he wasn't at his best. A new baby in the family, I guess, and his mind was on other things. But he still managed to come away to the win.
Yeah, well, I have a new baby in my family also, but I'm not going to let that affect how I perform come June 11th.
By the way, is planning to stay very busy. If you're victorious on June 11th and ever come through there with no cuts or anything like that, then you're expected to get right back into action just a month later, huh?
Certainly. What do you mean if I'm victorious? I will be victorious.
Champ, I'm with you. Just punch him out anytime you feel like it.
Okay, then, because he's working on it.
This is a corking good fight, Rich Murata. These two guys are just nose to nose at each other.
Well, styles make fights, and the two styles of these guys are making for a pretty good fight, Tom.
Indeed. This is the 3rd round. It's scheduled for 10.
And I think if Arthur keeps this up, he might win a decision.
Lou Moret steps between the two, cautioning Johnson. Seconds remain in this, the 3rd round. 10 seconds left. Promises to be a dandy. Don't go away. We'll be back in a moment right after this important message. In the black trunks trimmed in white. In the blue trimmed in gray is Alberto Raton Jimenez, ranked number 2 by the WBC. These are flyweights, and it's been a dandy fight. Good right hand by Jimenez. May have hurt Johnson. He's holding on.
I believe he did hurt Johnson.
Caught him with the right hand high on the cheek on the left side. Johnson quickly fell into a bit of a clinch. Jemenez is a top hitter. He's won 20 of 22, 23 by knockouts out of his 26 victories. Johnson has got some sock, too. He's an 8-1 record, but he's knocked out 5 guys. Former Olympian and a former teammate on the Olympic team of the man sitting between yours truly and Rich Murata. That'd be the former heavyweight champ, Riddick Bowe. He's in action June the 11th up at Caesars Palace in Vegas, and on the 25th of July at Hollywood Park. I don't think there's ever been one at the racetrack before, Rich. Has there?
Not that I can recall. No.
Well, it's about time for one to be there.
Riddick's breaking new ground.
Yeah.
What's the best way, when you get in the ring with a buzzsaw, like a non-stop puncher like this Jimenez, what's the best way to try to go up against him?
I think a pretty good jab, it keeps him honest.
A guy like that just tries to overwhelm you, it seems, with just so many punches that you spend so much time defending yourself, you can't get anything off.
Not really worse. You got to turn the tables around, make him defend himself. Pretty good left jab, you pop him with a good shot, and he thinks about what he's going to do.
You got to use your height and reach advantage and get off first, I would think. Johnson suddenly is making a pretty good run back at him here. I thought Jimenez had pretty well had this round. Johnson is coming back, and now Jimenez tries to put him on the ropes, and Flash gets away.
Yeah, I think if Arthur uses his jab, he would do much better than what he's doing.
Well, he has a reach advantage, Riddick. You'd think that he'd use it to his advantage. Easier said than done, no. This guy Jemenez is a buzzsaw, as Rick says. Pretty good right hand by Johnson there.
Remember, Arthur's only had 9 professional fights, too. He's probably never seen anybody with this much sustained punching. I mean, constant punching all the time.
Yeah, but Arthur has a lot of amateur experience, and I think that should help him out here.
You're right, Riddick. He had just about almost 200 amateur fights.
Got nailed with a pretty good left hand there that backed him up. Then I think the best round for Raton is a right hand thrown by Johnson that scores. Is it? This one will please the crowd, no question about it. Nice combination of punches by Johnson as Jemenez goes back to his corner. Another tough round to score. I tell you, Jemenez had the best of it to begin with, and Johnson came on late in the round. Let's check the WBC flyweight rankings brought to you by Tecate. You can see that Alberto Raton Jemenez is ranked second. A couple of other local fighters in there. Isaias Zamudio, he's a tough competitor. Mark Johnson, whom we spoke of, out of Washington, D.C., will be on the card with Riddick Bowe the 11th of June up at Caesars. Ought to be a dandy card and a dandy show. And, of course, those are the way the WBC lists this flyweight division. Watch Jemenez. Right hand catches Johnson. He falls into a bit of a clinch, holds on. Now, at the end of the round, as Jemenez pumps away, Johnson comes back. Jemenez hits him with a pretty good right. Now a flurry of punches by Johnson drives Jemenez back right into the lap of Lou Moret. Score that one, if you will. Round number 5. Neither man has been down. Scheduled for 10. Paez will be on that card June the 11th out of Caesars. Boy, he wants to fight Oscar De La Hoya at 135 pounds, Rich. He's pretty enthused about it.
Well, Paez has put on a pretty good run of fights here over the last year. Ever since his defeat at the hands of Freddie Pendleton, he's fought very well since then.
And you know, I thought the Pendleton fight was the best fight he'd had in a long time. Pendleton knocked him down twice. He got up. I thought put on a great display of courage. His most disappointing, of course, was that fight against Rafael Ruelas. Johnson scores impressively. The jab, good right hand, snap Raton's head back.
Yeah, he rocked him back. Riddick, it seems as though Johnson can get to him with right hands.
Oh, certainly. As long as Arthur uses the jab, gets his distance, he can hit him with a good right hand anytime he gets ready.
This is the 5th round. It's scheduled for 10. In case you just wandered in and turned the TV on, the man whose voice you heard a moment ago, former heavyweight champion of the world, Riddick Bowe, will be fighting. I beg your pardon.
I don't like that word, former. So I got
uncrowned.
Listen, Big Daddy, do something about it.
I got to go out there and become champion.
Go out and do something about it.
So I'm giving all you heavyweights fair warning. Look out, the Big Daddy is coming.
You know, Rich brought up a subject. I can't believe that they have almost totally ignored you since your last fight with Evander. I mean, no one mentioned your name or anything. I'd be a man on a mission if I were you. I think you probably are.
Yes, I am a man on a mission, but I think those guys are afraid to say my name because they know what, is going to happen to them.
You'll see him in action on the 11th of June, and then he'll be fighting at Hollywood Park July 25th.
Tom, Johnson is having a nice round this round. He's boxing well. Jemenez is still throwing the same amount of punches, but Johnson's been able to evade much more of them and plus land crisp combinations himself this round.
This being the 5th round of a scheduled 10-rounder.
And there you see it again. Just what I was talking about, Johnson actually beating Jemenez to the punch. He's fighting quite well.
He also has pretty good hand speed. I just think going into the later rounds will prove to be a big factor in this fight.
Coming to the close of round number 5, promising great action ahead. We'll be back to see how it turns out right after this. Is in the blue trunks, Johnson in the black trimmed and white. No knockdowns. It has been non-stop for these two flyweights since the opening bell brought them together. Lou Moret, 3rd man in the ring. Scoring around at ringside, Jose Cobian, Charles Hassett, Chuck Hassett, and Dick Young. I'm Tom Kelly along with Rich Marotta, and this is a tough fight to score. Riddick Bowe has it dead even. I don't know but what he's right. I've got Johnson ahead by a point, and I think Rich has got Jemenez ahead by one.
Right.
You might be right. This may be the best division going these days, huh?
Oh, the flyweights, it's just terrific. And if you look down just 4 pounds lighter, when you got Carbajal and Chiquita Gonzalez as well, I mean, those guys could easily be fighting at 112 pounds. Mark Johnson and Danny Romero, a fabulous kid, off to a great start in his career.
Get out of Albuquerque. Yeah, he's undefeated. You know, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but you're right. Johnson is very impressive for a guy with 9 professional fights.
And I think if he used his jab a little bit more, he would, make things much easier for him.
Boy, I tell you, Jemenez is no walk in the park. This is one tough cookie. At 5'2", the 5-inch disadvantage in height hasn't seemed to bother him yet.
No, he knows how to get on the inside.
Got nailed with a good right hand. Jemenez did. Walked right into him. Right hand thrown by Johnson.
But it didn't bother him at all.
Didn't, no. Walked right through it. It seemed to. I thought it was a pretty good punch.
He's hard to discourage. Jemenez, when he fought for the World Championships against Kid Akesa, scored a knockdown in that fight and lost a hotly disputed split decision.
But you'll remember here at the Great Western Forum, Rich, his loss to Mark Too Sharp Johnson was kind of an unpopular thing. Of course, one must remember that with a name like Jemenez, he has a great Hispanic following here in Southern California, and the crowd may have reacted to that as much as anything else, but it was a good fight.
Well, I can assure you he didn't have that kind of crowd reaction when he fought Boom Chai Kid Akesa in Thailand.
You talk about Muang Chai Kid Akesa as though you and he were, you talked about him a lot. You mentioned his name a lot?
I practiced it all day today.
It has been another non-stop action round. Coming to a close, Jemenez and Johnson. And we'll follow Johnson back to his corner at the end of round number 6. Well, we're over there with the... Now we're with Johnson.
Down on the guy. All right.
Now we'll listen in.
So you have it even.
Take a deep breath. Relax. Come on.
Now you got to go with 1-2s, 1-2-3s, and you got to turn them. You hear? Yeah. You got to get off the ropes. And when you're through punching, I don't want to see you laying in there with him. I will say this. The right hand is there when you are inside.
Ramon,
down, okay?
Come on, Ramon.
Okay? 1-2. You got to have a hard stick, hard right hand. Put the left hand behind him. If you want this, Arthur, don't be backing up. All right. Yeah. Turn him. 1-2. Put that right hand on him. Come on, baby. Come on.
Here's a 1-2 combination you can take a look at. As you see, Rich Marotta's scoring has it dead even at 57. Brought to you by Super Lotto, the game that's made millionaires out of 624 Californians, none of which, I might add, are sitting here at ringside. I tell you, that's great corner work. He says, if you want it, Arthur, don't be backing up. Go get it.
Well, he can take it if he wants it.
Laid it right on the line to him. They come out here for round number 7. It's scheduled for 10. I tell you, Jemenez doesn't back up. He is tough to discourage, just keeps coming at you.
You know, Arthur has good upper body movement. I think if he does a little bit more than that, Jemenez won't be able to hit him so much. He would make it extremely harder.
Johnson in the black trunks trimmed in white. Jemenez in the blue trimmed in gray or silver. He's ranked, with right hand, but Jemenez took it. Came back with a couple of shots to the body.
These guys are
discouraging when you hit a guy with a shot like that and he just looks at you like you're crazy.
Well, it's not discouraging to me, because I'm a heavyweight. I like popping.
Jemenez working to the body with that left hand as he keeps walking in, walking in.
Because when I'm in there, I like to see how many he can take.
There it is again. That right hand is there for Arthur Johnson, just like they told him in the corner.
As long as he uses his jab and sets it up, it's just going to work for him all night long.
Jemenez with 2 jabs. Didn't get to throw the right. Back Johnson up. Leads with the right.
See, Johnson cannot wait on Jemenez. If he waits on him, he gets off.
Neither man has been down. We're in round number 7. It is scheduled for 10, and it's been like this since the opening bell. These two guys look like two fellas somebody wound up and just turned loose at each other. They haven't slowed down a bit. There's no question, champ, when he throws that left and gets off first, he has the best of it, Johnson does.
Certainly. See, Jemenez has a short arm, so he has to get closer.
He's just chasing Johnson.
That's right, and nailed him with the right hand, and then they wrestle each other about. Lou Moret, the third man, really has not had that many clinches to break up.
This is a tough fight to score, Tom. Even in this round, Johnson had a great first half of the round, but now Jemenez is last minutes coming on strong.
He's done that on a couple of occasions. All right, round 8 will be coming up. We'll be back after this. Desperado Riddick Bowe here at ringside, and a nice crowd on hand at the Great Western Forum. Hope that wherever you are, you're enjoying this one tonight on Prime, and it's been a dandy fight. These are flyweights. Good right hand by Johnson. Jemenez is just about impossible to discourage, I tell you.
Yeah, at this point, Jemenez is overpowering Johnson.
One thing, though, that I think has been impressive, keeping in mind that Jemenez has scored 23 knockouts in his 26 victories. Arthur Johnson has taken his punches very well here tonight.
And I think another bad thing about this June, he's moving straight back instead of giving him different angles. But again, that comes from experience.
Johnson has had only 9 professional fights. He was a member of the Olympic team, of course. 88. Jemenez is a tried and tested veteran. 23 knockouts and 26 victories. WBC has him ranked number 2.
And Johnson using some movement in this round.
A lot easier to sit here and say what should be done than to be up there in that ring. Riddick Bowe made a pretty sage comment between rounds when he said, I'll bet Jemenez is surprised to find a guy with only 9 pro fights that's doing as well as he is.
Yeah, he probably thought a guy with 8 fights, he's going to hit him with 3 shots and he'll lay down.
That's right.
But what he didn't take into account is off his Olympic experience or his fights as an amateur.
10 national championships, Arthur Johnson.
I think Jemenez looks a little fresher because he has the experience of going, 10 rounds.
Yep. He seems a little stronger inside. He was pumping away to the body, taking advantage of a lapse by Johnson. He does appear to be stronger now, Riddick, no question about it.
Like I said, I thought the later rounds would prove to be a big factor in this fight, especially for Arthur Johnson.
Jemenez gives you the impression he's much stronger, and apparently he feels, at least looks like, he's in control. Round 8 comes to a sudden close. Now showing that he's the stronger or more in control of the two fighters, and he had a great closing to round number 8. He throws an overhand right that nails Johnson.
Tom, this might be a good time to ask Riddick Bowe here how Johnson can stem the tide here. It looked as though Jemenez was definitely beginning to take over at the end of that round and hurt Arthur a little bit in the last 30 seconds. So he goes back and tries to regroup. What's the best way to do that?
Well, first of all, just like Arthur's corner said, I think he's backing up too much. He's wasting a lot of energy. But I think if Arthur stands his ground and uses his left hand and the right cross, you know, he would do better for himself. Just took a vicious body shot.
Yes, he did. And he comes back and hits Jemenez right flush in the face with a solid right hand.
Well, that right hand was missing the last round. That had been a hallmark of that rally of 2 or 3 rounds that Arthur Johnson had staged.
Jemenez may be the stronger of the two, but he's going to have a memento of this one, and that's a pretty good-sized mouse on his left cheekbone. Nice right hand by Johnson. Did some nice fighting inside there, Rich.
Well, you know, Arthur, he ain't looking too pretty either.
No. They won't be able to hide from what they're doing through a lifting, will they?
Oh, no.
They'd never fool the panel on what's my line tomorrow. Backing up. Better served if he had a little more lateral movement. Riddick, huh?
They cut a right hand there, Conway. And then that put Johnson in a little bit of difficulty.
Yep. This is scheduled for 10, and we're in the 9th round. And it has been non-stop since the opening bell.
I think at this point, Arthur's showing Jemenez too much respect. He's going there and pop Jemenez to slow him down.
Now, there's a nice exchange, and I think Arthur got the best of that for a brief moment. But Jemenez,
he's right there.
He is indeed. You don't have to look for Raton.
He's a game little fighter.
Boy, he just keeps coming after you. See, like old man River just keeps rolling along, huh?
Yes, indeed. He is loading up.
Yep.
He never gives you a chance at all to relax.
Oh, no.
You just can't catch a breath when you're fighting Jemenez.
Boy, I tell you, I don't know when the Forum has seen a better fight than these two kids are putting on tonight, Rich. This is really an outstanding battle.
Well, you know, it's not only exciting, it's extremely competitive, extremely close, and every round seems difficult to score.
Yeah, they throwing down.
Boxing fans, the Ringsiders Club will offer you select seating, complimentary parking, and exclusive Forum Club membership. Join the Ringsiders Club, see the action up close, and become a part of the finest boxing program in America. Call now. Operators are standing by at 310-673-1773. All right. There's Johnson.
Don't back up on the guy.
Not nearly as pretty, Riddick, you're right, as he was before this Donnybrook got underway. Jemenez. Boy, I tell you, they've given the fans here 9 exciting rounds, and out they come for 3 more. I guess Jemenez is ahead on points.
I think this last round will determine who wins. Yes, indeed. Because I think the fight is rather close at this particular point. Some judges may like the boxer.
Yeah.
Other judges may like the guy who's more aggressive and who lands the bigger punches.
Jemenez is doggedly determined, Tom. He just complete, constant forward movement all the time, punching as he comes in. But it hasn't really seemed to discourage Arthur. Arthur Johnson is still fighting a good fight, has pretty much stuck to a game plan here.
I don't think Jemenez knows what it is to back up.
No.
He has one mode, and that's forward.
No reverse gear. That's for true. Boy, he just won't let you walk away and take a deep breath, will he? He just jumps right in your face no matter which way you turn.
It reminds me of a small Jake LaMotta.
Yeah, the bull.
Little bull. And poor Arthur's trying to be the matador.
Round number 10.
And he threw a couple of body shots, which he hasn't done much of. But Arthur Johnson, I think, win or lose here, Tom, is somebody who has an excellent future, and he can be a real factor in this division.
I tell you, the last 10, 15 seconds, he's scored repeatedly against Jemenez. Another pretty good right hand. Yes, he is, but Johnson has landed some solid shots with nice jabs. Jemenez keeps coming, but he's not doing much scoring, Riddick.
That is true.
But he never takes a backward step.
I think if Arthur would have started doing what he's doing a long time ago.
What a fight. Terrific fight.
You call the winner.
Oh, boy. Well, I gave the last round of Johnson. I don't know if it's enough, but I'll tell you, this was a corking good fight.
I say it's even.
Awfully good fight. I don't know if you can call it a draw with the number 2 ranked WBC contender, but maybe you can. I don't know.
Never can tell.
We'll be back to see how the judges saw it. Interesting fight and a great one. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll pause for this message. Manufacturers of innovative products for the automotive do-it-yourselfer. And by Tecate Beer and new Tecate Light. Do the T thing. For the fans here at the Great Western Forum, and we certainly hope that you, along the Prime Network, have been shown a magnificent battle between two great little flyweights. Johnson and Jemenez, who won it? Jimmy Lennon Jr. has the cards from the judges, and he can tell us all about it. Jimmy, if you will.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we have a split decision, and here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Dick Young scores the bout 96-94, Arthur Johnson. Judge at ringside, Jose Cobian scores the bout 96-94, Jemenez. And judge at ringside, Chuck Hassett scores the bout 96-95 in favor of the winner, Alberto Raton Jemenez.
I'll tell you, I don't know how you could have it much closer. I don't know if I can argue with that. It was a great fight. And it is tough to beat the number 2 ranked guy, Riddick, but I thought Johnson fought a great battle here tonight.
He fought a hell of a fight. And, I think we can expect good things from him.
I do indeed. And we wish the very best to you. Thank you for coming by to visit with us. I hope June 11th is a great night for you. I hope the 25th is. And I'd love to see you back in there getting your title back. We wish you the very best.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
All right, Rich.
Good luck, Riddick.
Indeed. All right, we'll be back. We've got more business for you. And Fernando is up with Jemenez. What a tough fight he had. Fernando, if you will, please.
Thank you, Tom. Raton, did you expect such a tough competition from a guy with so little experience? ¿Esperabas una pelea tan difícil con un hombre con tan poca experiencia profesional?
Bueno, yo creo que no vale nada lo de poca experiencia, ¿no? Uno se sube al ring y se expone a cualquier golpe. Y yo creo que es más peligroso un muchacho con poca experiencia a uno con experiencia.
He says that once they're in the ring, it doesn't matter the experience. He says that sometimes it's tougher to fight a young opponent without that much experience than somebody that is experienced. This was a very close fight again, as the same as the other fight. Were you afraid that they might not give you the fight? Esta fue una pelea muy dura. ¿No esperabas o temías que te la fueran a robar como la otra vez?
Bueno, sí temía que me pasara lo mismo de hace un año, pero yo creo que trabajé bien la pelea y en ningún momento me
me tocó Johnson y yo creo que ya estoy listo para el título mundial.
He says that sometimes he was afraid after the fight, although during the fight he was never really hurt by Johnson. He says that he believes now that he's ready for a title shot. Felicidades, congratulations.
Gracias y esta pelea se la dedico a mi hija Brenda Alejandra, que le mando muchos besos.
He says that this dedicates this fight to his daughter Brenda Alejandra. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Fernando. Our congratulations to Raton. What a great fight. He wins a split decision nod over Arthur Flash Johnson. We'll be back with more from the Great Western Forum. Boxing, the crowd still buzzing about Jemenez and Johnson. What a great fight it was. Now let's find out about another fight as we've had here in a long time, Rich.
Well, Griffin and Vetter might have been less than scintillating, but Jemenez and Johnson was actually absolutely spectacular, Tom. I had the fight at the conclusion judged exactly even. I had a dead even 95-95, 5 rounds to each fighter, and the judges were not that far apart as well. And the fact the deciding judge cast a ballot by only 1 point.
June 13th is our next go. It'll be David Kamau.
มวยโลกมหากุศลศึก M150 พิชิต